Danae's punishment was a cruel and unforgiving one, inflicted upon her by her own father, King Acrisius. Unwilling to provoke the wrath of the gods or the Furies by killing his offspring and grandchild, King Acrisius cast Danae and Perseus into the sea in a wooden chest with a couple of holes in it. Danae, the daughter of King Acrisius of Argos, was a beautiful and virtuous young woman. However, her father was plagued by a prophecy that foretold his own demise at the hands of his grandson. Fearful of this prophecy coming true, King Acrisius sought to rid himself of the potential threat by imprisoning Danae in a bronze chamber deep within the earth. Despite his efforts to isolate her from the world, Danae was visited by the god Zeus, who appeared to her in the form of a golden shower and impregnated her with his son, Perseus. When King Acrisius learned of Danae's pregnancy, he was consumed with rage and fear. He knew that if Danae gave birth to a son, his own fate would be sealed. In a desperate attempt to avoid the prophecy, King Acrisius devised a cruel plan to rid himself of both Danae and her unborn child. He ordered a wooden chest to be constructed, and with a few holes bored into it, he cast his daughter and grandson into the sea, leaving their fate to the mercy of the gods. Danae and Perseus drifted on the open sea, at the mercy of the elements. Their plight seemed hopeless, as the waves tossed and turned the chest, threatening to swallow them whole. However, the gods took pity on the mother and child, and guided the chest to the shores of the island of Seriphos. There, Danae and Perseus were found by a fisherman named Dictys, who took them in and offered them refuge and protection. Despite the hardships and trials that Danae endured at the hands of her father, she found solace and sanctuary in the kindness of Dictys. She raised Perseus in secret, concealing his divine parentage and protecting him from the wrath of King Acrisius. However, the forces of fate and destiny were not to be thwarted, and eventually, the truth of Perseus's heritage was revealed.